Oftentimes, desire seems to be misconstrued or misunderstood. And when we desire particular things in life, we often associate that desire with guilt. What I want you to understand is that when you truly desire something, that desire is a reflection of your true self, your consciousness. Whereas, on the other hand, when you want something, it is from the standpoint of your ego, your false self. And now I know that those two things, desire and wanting, can seem like semantics. But when you really get into the words, when you really get into the expression when you say those words, what you feel when you say those words, you can identify that they have a different frequency, a different energy. You see, desire comes from your need to actually do or fulfill a particular task in order for you to obtain fulfillment. It is something that is innately part of who you are, part of your consciousness. Whereas when you want something, there tends to be a feeling of lack, a feeling of not having, a feeling of needing to get something in order to feel whole and complete. But the thing is, you are already whole and complete. The spiritual journey is about coming into that realization, coming into that true understanding that you are whole and complete. And you have to take that journey being led by consciousness. And so each way, each path, each step along this journey is a expression of manifestation, is an expression of you actually learning who you are, learning that you are the creator of your own reality, learning that you are essentially God of your universe. And therefore, when you are aligned with consciousness, when you are aligned with this desire that is deep within you, that you yearn to fulfill because it is essentially who you are, rather than wanting to have something because more oftentimes than not, you want it in order to feel a sense of validation, to be accepted, right, for people's approval. And so that is the difference between those two realities that can be seen as the same, but really when you really get into it, they are really different. And that is how we often get confused along this journey, because your ego is kind of manipulating you, even though you feel like you're on the conscious path and you are doing everything that quote unquote is right for you to align with who you truly are and manifest the things that are truly meant for you to manifest and the things that you're destined to create. A lot of times the ego can still have its influence and impact on its desire to essentially be and stay comfortable. Okay? Your ego wants you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Your ego wants you to stay exactly where you are and not move because it is familiar to the ego. And even though your consciousness knows that this isn't meant for you, this stagnation, this place that you're sitting in, you're not feeling fulfilled, you're feeling like there is more to life in this existence, in this experience, but your ego has such a grasp on you, whereas it is telling you, okay, yeah, there are some things that we can maybe create, have, but we are comfortable here, right? This is where we know, we're familiar with. There are no risks to be had, right? To be taken. We don't, even though we're not happy here, we don't lose it, right? We can still be grateful for what we have, even though we know that there is so much more to be had because you are so much more. You see, so recognize that when you are on this journey, you are constantly in communication between your consciousness and your ego. Your ability to create, your ability to find this fulfillment is a reflection of your consciousness, your true self. And as long as you continue to follow that, and you are mindful that the ego will continue to pull you back and keep you in a position where you are comfortable, where you don't have to, experience different things, challenges, and expand, right? You can just stay exactly where you are in your nice little box or bubble, and you don't have to push further. when in fact pushing further means you actually becoming who you are. So you see, the fulfillment of you actually taking on the journey of pursuing things that your consciousness is looking for you to do is allowing you to, desire, is basically coming from the standpoint of recognizing that fulfillment is actually the expression of you being aligned. When you are not aligned, then there is no fulfillment, right? There is lack, there is stress, there is anxiety. That is expressions and a result of being led by the ego. When you are even on the path of fulfilling those desires, the ego will try to implant and manipulate things like guilt, shame, right? Imposter syndrome, feeling like, you've made it, but your friends and family hasn't, right? So there's guilt behind that as well. So you always have to be mindful. This is why practices of meditation and mindfulness are so important and vital along this journey. Because when you're not mindful, then it's easy for the ego to take over, even when it appears that you are living the life that you want to live. Because though you are living this appeared, fulfilled life, you may have all the things that you want or desire, I should say, the ego has a way of manipulating the situation to make you feel like, though you have it, you probably shouldn't. It makes a very confused state of existence. And a lot of times people who achieve massive amounts of success, happiness, they fulfilled all the goals and desires that they've wanted. A lot of times there's a sense of guilt, shame, right? Imposter syndrome, not feeling complete, anxiety, because their ego is still dominant and really active in their lives. So you have to be mindful that this journey is one of mindfulness. In order for you to be fulfilled, be successful, also manage all of those negative emotions and ideas that come with it, you have to be mindful. You have to always check in with yourself. You have to always look within and ask yourself, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Because, yes, you went through the exercises of asking yourself, what really do you want? That's vital. But now you have to ask yourself, are you fulfilled with this? Are you satisfied with this? Are you in a place of contentment and joy with the thing that you have created or in the process of creating? Because even when you are in the movement of creation, you still have to check in with yourself. Is this in alignment with who I am? Is this in alignment with my truer self, my higher self, right? And if you feel like there is some, resistance, or you feel like there is something that's not quite right, you have to pull back and look at that. Because if you avoid it, then it will build up. And eventually, even when you have reached this level of success and manifestation and materialization of that which you desire, if you haven't managed your ego, it will stain it. It will corrupt the experience, right? It will corrupt your ability to truly be present and be proud, happy, joyful, have a sense of gratitude for what you have done. So continue to be mindful and recognize that your desire is an expression of the true self, whereas wanting is an expression of false self. Recognize the difference between desire and want. When you recognize the differences between those things, and I know a lot of times when we speak, we often have those things interchangeable with one another. But when we are really mindful about our speech, be mindful about those two words. Instead of saying, I want that, I want this, say, I desire that, right? I desire that. I am creating that, and that is mine. I am materializing, I am manifesting that, okay? So when you do that, you understand the power of your words, and also the way those words come out and the way you hear them when you speak them out yourself. You are programming yourself with a mindset of clarity, discipline, and focus. But when we say things like, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this, we almost sound like a spoiled brat, right? We almost sound like we're not in a space where we can understand and really be in the mindset of gratitude, abundance, of happiness, security, right? You often think about want, I want. That represents the lack mentality that the ego has. And when you are on the path and when you have actually fulfilled your desire, recognize that that is an expression of you being in proper alignment with all aspects of who you are, your ego, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and even your higher mind. So as you go through this journey, mindfulness is key, but recognize the power of your words, how you speak, how you think, and that will send you along the path of actually materializing and manifesting the life that you desire, and actually realizing who you truly are. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, and get access to this free ebook, The Power Within. I also invite you to join my Conscious Creator Circle, which is an exclusive membership designed to give you more access to me, this knowledge with daily techniques and practices that's going to help you open up your consciousness and truly be the creator that you are. So join the circle. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.